Alright, so new video, new project. We also have the trenches already completed. Thanks to the 12 Ys, you can see the path that they have left here. Tunnel bore down below, not smooth floor, obviously, because we don't really care. We'll be doing decoration on top of it. And yeah, everything is all in place for this one to get underway. Done a couple streams here, preparing the trenchers and whatnot. And then Rubik has built this World Eater here that we'll be ready to launch it right now. Portal has been moved up from the tree down there somewhere. It's all verified. We should be good to go. We might get a couple trenchers stuck on the first one, but I'm pretty sure because the leaves have such a low blast resistance, we should be perfectly fine. But Zach will be here to watch it if anything goes wrong. Be pretty easy to fix. But yeah, besides that, everything looks okay. The rain below doesn't look terrible in terms of obsidian, besides a couple of these ravines with water leaking down. But compared to anything, nothing will be as worse as the frozen ocean one we've done 2 times now. And yeah, I never want to do any of that stuff again. But yeah, should be pretty good here. Probably going to be asking why are we even doing this? Well, there's a cool farm design that I wanted to do, and I think it will be nice to show. Of course, ocelots don't drop anything, but I think it'll be a nice perimeter to do overall, just so that you can see the stupidness of some of the stuff here with these farms that make absolutely no sense or practicality to do. So yeah, we'll probably be back once this is fully ordered out and we can start working on the decoration as well as the farms. Alright, so this is kind of the farm that I designed. I kind of want to go with because it's like a naturally spawning pad and we got chickens in the middle to lure the ocelots down. But I have been doing a little bit of testing with this, and unfortunately some of the other short mobs, like the chickens themselves, as well as the pigs, can actually spawn here in the biome, and they would, of course, pick up the mob cap, which isn't ideal because obviously we only want the ocelots to spawn. When they do, of course, they would get aggroed to the chicken and fall through, and then because they wouldn't take fall damage, you would have them drop them to like magma blocks or something like that to take that kind of damage instead. But because we get these guys, they will contribute to the mob cap, and therefore eventually the farm will just come to a halt because there's no way to really deal with this. It's quite unfortunate because I really like this design and I wanted to use it. It's also very simple to make and you can easily just stack it up. The one downside is that ocelots can only spawn in a certain Y level range, so we can't take advantage and build this at Y0. Once again, there is no point in doing this, but it's a very interesting farm. If ever needed the ocelots still be like captured, then we could use this, but unfortunately there's really no use for them anymore, besides just having them around. So we're gonna go with a different design here. I'm gonna load that schematic up and we'll see how we're gonna tile that, and we can go from there. Alright, so this is the module we are going to go with. Mainly just because of the way the spawning pad works, as well as the reset system over here. So when a mob spawns in here, we're going to use just something that we can put on the side as well, just to simulate this, because this will actually happen every here and there. So if we get a parrot and like kind of push him over a little bit, he'll be in range of it, but he won't fall off. So this actually can happen with this design, which is not the end of the world, because they will eventually pathfind over. This can happen with the ocelots as well. This is an adaptation, I believe, from the KK, which was the original creator of this. And you can see eventually they will pathfind over and fall, but because that we're making a clock here by pushing this over, it essentially just keeps the full thing cycling back and forth forever. So we get that over there. Because it's only going to be on one side, we can do it on both. So we put a redstone block there and there. It'll keep cycling back and forth constantly until that mob does get out of it, and then depowers the stuff there. So this will work the same with the Ocelots, of course. When they spawn in here, it detects that, flushes the floor, and lets them fall. And yeah, because we're using button pistons here, we just power this no block, which powers these rails, and sets an update to this piston to push it back and forth when doing so. What this does actually is it'll quickly pulse the pistons because we're taking advantage of QC here again as well. So the pistons will depower as the redstone blocks are in block 36 and being moved. And then once they return back to their solid state, they will power because it's QC in this piston here. Once this one updates, it'll power that one, and same thing for the rest of them. And so yeah, it's also very easy to stack up, which we can see with this one over here. So I did some testing, and the 7x7 chunks is actually the spot where you'll actually get the most spawns without getting diminishing returns. And so you can see here, it's actually quite easy to stack up as well. So let's position this one, that way this one stays how it is. So yeah, we can pile them up, and it doesn't really matter if they will cross power each other, because this observer won't do anything unless this one is actually extended anyway. So it's very easy to actually do it. And we also did modify this one. So we got rid of the rails just by making this piston here, so that when this gets powered, it actually updates that as well. Slightly slower, of course, because you got to wait for the piston extension time, which is 3 game ticks, before this will actually do it. So if I go over here and tick freeze, if I do this and tick step 1, you'll see that that piston will not extend until game tick 2. So that means that, game tick 3 now, then the floor will get retracted, as opposed to the no block, which will activate actually 1 game tick earlier, because there's no extension time for the rails. So we have that, of course. So yeah, that's what we're going to go with here. For the farm, I only just put the glass on top of the note blocks, as there's really no need for us to put it on top of this. There's extra blocks to place for no real gain, because, well, of course, if we're going to run this farm, which is probably like never going to happen besides for the video here, then of course, this will not really get anything. And of course, this is why I hesitate to call it a farm. Well, because as you can see here, it just dropped right into Soulfire. Moving these guys in a conveyor to the center would just be very annoying to do. Like I said, we would also get some parrots in there as well that can spawn in that area. So yeah, unfortunately, we can't really do that. As much as I would love to do it, get the stats for it, it's just not feasible with this type of farm. Unfortunately, there really is no other farms. We kind of had to take KK's original design that they had for 1.12 and sort of just modify it a little bit to make it work for us. The spacing isn't the best here for the redstone. We probably maybe could have tried to figure out something to combine these two together, so it would be a little bit more laggy. But when this one fires, then this one will also fire. So it's not perfect by any means, but then again, we're really only making this farm because of the perimeter decoration we had planned. And I can tell you, and you probably have already seen from the thumbnail, that thing is one of my favorite decorations ever in this world. It probably will ever be till the rest of the server's lifetime, because it's just perfection. You'll see it when you see it in game. You will understand why I love it so much. So yeah, we're gonna build this here. The AFK spot would be around the middle, like 24 blocks up or so. That would be the spawns in the center, and it'll be made above one of these sections here, so we're not interfering with the height map above the actual slice itself. And if we need to make it above it, we can always make it above these 3 blocks right here, because these are not above the actual spawning pads. We do need this glass on top, unfortunately. Like I said, because it does spawn some parrots every here and there. So we need this to stop them from flying out and escaping, because they would contribute to the mob cap, and therefore it would slow the farm eventually. So, yeah, that's everything here. So we're gonna go build this up in survival now, finish off the decoration, and everything all done and dusted, and we'll probably be back once the full perimeter is completed. Alright, so the Ocelot farm. One of my favorite perimeter decorations that we have ever done on the server, as well as the farm itself, is finally done. This floor, I mean, man, it looks insane. This is a flat floor, by the way. This is not staircase, nothing. This thing is a beauty. And I mean, it's just amazing how this thing turned out. I'm not gonna lie to you. The wall decoration as well perfectly fits the theme here. And look at it from the map. I mean, look at that. That is absolutely insane that we were able to get that amount of detail in a flat map art. I mean, this farm may be the most useless thing ever, but I will come and visit this just to look at this decoration in person, time and time again. It's unbelievable. Super happy with how that turned out for sure. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any passive mobs to spawn here. But of course, I did show you how the farm worked in the previous clip in the creative tested world. But yeah, we have a couple hundred ocelots per hour using this farm here. Any larger, we kind of just get diminishing returns for the farm itself. And it's not even really a farm because, well, yeah, everything just gets burned because, of course, ocelots drop nothing, and we already have a faster passive mob farm in the world, so the other ones like sheep, cows, pigs, and chickens, I believe, that spawn in the jungle, we wouldn't, of course, store anything there either. I think some parrots do spawn, and little birds do cause some issues sometimes, so they get stuck on this sticky piston here, but they will eventually move out of the way. So of course, not the best design by any means, but I mean, look at the floor. I couldn't cover the farm. We could have made this area entirely and not put a farm in the center here, and I would have been fine with that because yeah, this decoration just turned out absolutely amazing. So very, very pleased with that. This design was based off a KK design back from long ago, but it still does work. I guess we can't complain there. But yeah, very interesting concept, of course. Not really practical and useful because they don't drop anything. Especially all the effort you would need to make a render distance perimeter to actually make sure that, passive mobs only spawn in your farm. Of course, when I have other things running on the server, I can't really make the farm run. But yeah, I mean, do I gotta say anything more? I'll say here all day. But yeah, very proud and happy with how this turned out. A lot of effort, but totally worth it. So, yeah, that's what we do it for this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, all sorts of things, and I'll see you